Today we're talking Survivor Series, we're talking Raw on Netflix, commercials, and of course a canceled WWE storyline. It's all coming up right here on the Ango Show. Yes. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, we go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern. This is becoming one of the coolest parts of the channel. We go live. We talk about Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, TNA. We fantasy book. We talk to the chat. It's integrated. It's a very fun experience. And guys, if you're not there, you're missing out. So make sure you take your lunch breaks with Ango. Trust me, it's very well worth it. We're going to kick things off today with some very interesting news surrounding WWE Raw on Netflix. As you guys can imagine, I've been super excited about everything happening with WWE moving to streaming. At first, I have to admit, I wasn't that big of a fan. I was kind of curious and maybe a little bit disappointed in the fact that WWE would make people watch a streaming service to watch their product. But one of the big things that people need to know is that WWE Raw on Netflix will have some changes. Now, of course, if you guys didn't know, WWE will be on Netflix, but there is a couple things that are a little bit more interesting than maybe we thought before, because commercials will actually be involved on the platform. But if you do have the Netflix subscription without ads, then you won't get commercial breaks. So technically speaking, you could be watching an episode of WWE Raw, but the plan is that if you have ad-free experience, you're going to keep watching as normal. And I think the reason why this is so interesting is because it makes me curious as to how WWE will actually film the show itself, because I feel like everybody knows at this point that most people have Netflix with ads. There's not that many people that I know that personally pay the higher premium to not have ads. Dave Meltzer talked about this. He says that Netflix has been working to incorporate commercials into their programming, and the pro wrestling audience is already accustomed to seeing commercials during the show. However, Netflix does have a little bit more flexibility here. So this is where actually things get a little bit interesting, right? If you're watching cable television, typically what you'll see is that commercials are a lot longer. Netflix, being that it's a streaming service, can basically sell ads and the space and the timing, however they want. So sometimes you might have a 2-minute ad or 2-minute commercials, or you might have a 30-second ad. I think this is really intriguing, and I find it more so interesting that WWE is going to have to find a way to film around this. I think WWE should just keep the action going, and anytime there's promos or anything like that that is important, I think WWE should probably wait for the ad to kick in. I don't know how they're going to do this. I'm hoping that maybe WWE will upload digital exclusives for those who couldn't see what was happening due to the commercial. That would be pretty big, but obviously we don't know how WWE will respond to the major change. Let's talk about a canceled WWE storyline. We know that Kiana James is out. She's injured. She suffered a leg injury. It makes a lot of sense as to why WWE has not been utilizing her. But what's actually really interesting is that WWE does actually have a canceled storyline here. The news came out that Kiana James was scheduled to be in some sort of romance angle with Adam Pearce. And I don't know why the hell WWE decided to do this, but according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Kiana James was removed from the roster because she was sidelined with a leg injury, and that's going to keep her out for an extended period of time. WWE had teased an angle involving James and Adam Pearce, potentially setting up a romance angle between the two. That's pretty insane. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know. WWE has gotten so good at storytelling. I don't know if Dave and anybody really speculating this understands that it probably wouldn't be a good idea for WWE to do a romance angle between leadership and a performer. I mean, especially when you look at kind of the lawsuit that WWE is going with. I feel like that would be very irresponsible. And quite frankly, I don't think I would be interested in a storyline where Kiana James is involved in a relationship with Adam Pearce. I mean, Adam Pearce is a great general manager. I feel like this is really cheap and it's really dumb. Especially considering how good the general manager roles have been for WWE. They're a lot more serious. They try to get business done. I don't know. I just feel like it's really dumb. And I hate to say that. I feel like Kiana James was somebody who she got called up to the main roster. You know, not really much planned for her. I think this is one of those scenarios where WWE, thankfully, they didn't go with this. I also think when she comes back from injury, it would be really smart for WWE to stay away from this. I don't think it would have benefited Kiana James in any manner. It sure as hell would have done a lot worse for Adam Pearce because he is a respected GM. This is a guy whose character is very strongly portrayed in a positive way. It just, to me, it would have seemed very odd for WWE to go this route, and honestly, I'm pretty glad that they decided not to. In regards to Kiana James, I want to see her come back. I want to see her come back and get involved in some big profile storylines. I love the idea of Kiana James working alongside somebody else. You know, maybe hire some muscle. Just something to put her in a more prominent role. It's not going to be easy for her to get over, but obviously within time, they could make something happen. Let's talk WWE Survivor Series. A lot of speculation on Survivor Series this year. WWE has actually put Roman Reigns on the flyer. They are advertising Roman Reigns for WWE Survivor Series. And I'm super excited about Survivor Series. We know that there's going to be a men's war game match. We know there's going to be a women's war game match. I think it is very clear that WWE has some big plans here. But it is being talked about that Roman Reigns will be involved in the war games match. I think it's very safe to say that the plans are bloodline versus bloodline. I have speculated about this for a very long time. But also at the same time too, I just think it would be better for WWE to really profile this match as the main event for the War Games pay-per-view. It's a Thanksgiving tradition. Everybody loves Survivor Series. I think Survivor Series is going to be a massive event for WWE. Obviously, we'll be covering it on the channel. I think if you're the WWE and you want to make money, there is no secret. Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns, there is something there that could be made, you know, with money. And I think a lot of money could be made there. And look, sometimes what needs to be said is this: simplicity is better for everybody. Do the War Games match, have Roman Reigns and the baby faces win, and then I wouldn't wait too long. I would have Jacob Fatu swerve everybody and turn on Solo Sikoa. I think Solo Sikoa being turned on would be massive for Survivor Series. That would be a massive way to end the pay-per-view. And if you really want to do a double whammy, you have The Rock show up. Keep in mind, WWE on USA Network, The Rock's possible return is tonight. I think a seed could be planted for War Games. Obviously, if Roman's at SmackDown tonight, I think it comes out that the final boss is behind the new bloodline. And there you go. The story is being told. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Ango Show.